true healing, true transformation requires more than just talking the talk. It's about walking the walk every single day. True spirituality is nothing but love, acceptance, and personal growth. There's no fear, there's no condemnation. That's not what true spirituality is about. And I'm calling it out this season. Hi guys, welcome to the Liberate Your Bliss podcast. In this season, we're going to be embracing authenticity. My name is Chelsi, and as I sit here ready to dive into season 2 of Liberate Your Bliss, I just can't help but reflect a little bit on my journey that brought me to this podcast in the first place. In season 1, I was such a seeker. I was always searching and trying to prove myself. I was really a version of me that was entangled in this almost endless quest for something other than who I was on the inside. Last year was super intense for me. I wrestled with this abusive mentor, dealt with dark energies, shadow work beyond belief, and I took on a religious path seeking acceptance, and that just really showed me more shame. My body became this battlefield of childhood trauma, emotions, pains, and I jumped from one healing modality to the next, hoping that I would fix the broken parts of myself. After a 10-day water fast, a freaking baptism, losing my corporate job, I found myself amidst this giant mess of my own making, and I'd become quite the spiritual archaeologist, where I realized I'd gone too far. I was chasing spirituality to the point of almost losing my mind. Quite a spiritual bypasser, chaser, using energy work to continue escaping my reality, looking in the past all the time and looking for the next teacher or fast to save me. But here's when things changed. I asked myself, who would I be if I was enough? What would I do if I was enough? And that became my daily mantra, where I finally started living life on my own terms, not boxed into a role someone else defined me as. I detached from the name healer, sister, friend, daughter, party girl, and I became Chelsi, listening to my heart and my spirit and doing what I needed in the present moment. Now, the only thing that matters truly in life is being present, here, right now, doing what you love. And for me, I am living in Bali with the man of my dreams, 4 dogs, running this epic, beautiful healing business called Liberate Your Bliss, conducting weekend intensives at Jack's in Uluwatu, what a dream, teaching Kundalini and Reiki in my own little healing house here in Chamagi. And I can't help but reflect on how far I've come. This podcast 1 year ago was just a dream, as was this Bali life. And now my dreams have really become a reality. So this season, I'm really coming to you more from a place of being anchored in who I am and what I believe to be truth with a capital T. I'm not having people on here looking for external validation anymore. And instead, this season is all about finding others who are equally anchored and embodied in their own truth. But here's the thing, you guys, and this is really important. Every single person's truth is unique, and every single person's truth is true. And that's why everyone's journey to their truth is valid. So this season isn't about me telling you what I think truth is. It's about exploring how other people have found and embodied their own truth. And I'm hoping that this season will inspire you to do the same. Now let's talk about what you won't find this season. We're cutting through the bullshit, folks. We're not here for the surface level stuff anymore. You won't find any tantric teachers using the word tantra as an excuse for orgies. I'm fucking over that. We're not featuring models who preach self-love but are drowning in their own insecurities and won't even repost the podcast. There are no Kundalini facilitators who claim Kundalini Botox that aren't doing the work, skipping out on their own morning routines. And you definitely won't hear from anyone who's just swapped their cocaine addiction for cacao. You know why? Because true healing, true transformation requires more than just talking the talk. It's about walking the walk every single day. So I'm hoping that the guests on this season that we're featuring, they're the real deal. They're doing the work consistently, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. We're also not shying away from tough conversations this season. One topic that's been weighing heavily on my heart is religion. Specifically, we're going to address the issue of how religious leaders use their platforms to shame rather than uplift. You know those types, right? Those who preach love but practice judgment, who claim to offer salvation but really just hand you a bunch of guilt and fear. And I've seen firsthand the damage that this can do. True spirituality is nothing but love, acceptance, and personal growth. There is no fear, there's no condemnation. That's not what true spirituality is about, and I'm calling it out this season. So we'll be exploring how to reclaim spirituality from those around you who may have used tools to control you, and we're going to be cultivating a personal spiritual practice here that truly serves and uplifts you. Now, I'm going to give you a sneak peek at some of the incredible guests we have lined up this season. We've got a guest who was on Married at First Sight in the UK. Yeah, that show where strangers just get married on TV, but here's the kicker. After the camera stopped rolling, this person's life took a dramatic turn, and they've now dedicated their platform to supporting people through healing from grief. We've got a practitioner here who's going to break down the myths and realities of those ancient healing modalities involving earth medicine. We're talking about facing your deepest truths, confronting your shadows, and potentially rewiring your entire being. I've had my own experiences with plant medicine. I've talked about them a lot, and I can tell you it's not for the faint of heart, but the insights and the healing that come from these experiences are profound, and she'll be sharing a lot about that with you. Speaking of unconventional healing, we've got a healer on here who studied with a kung fu warrior to learn the most non-traditional slapping technique. And you heard that right, slapping for healing. And before you roll your eyes, ask yourself, how many of us are walking around half asleep, numb to our own pain and potential? So we're going to explore how sometimes the most insane healing comes from the most unexpected places. And we're going to tackle head-on the commercialization of spirituality. Is enlightenment truly something you can buy? We'll be asking those tough questions about retreat centers, guru culture, and the fine line between healing and exploitation. And this topic is super close to my heart as I've seen both the transformative powers of spiritual practice, but also the way that they can be misused, commercialized, and can actually just be re-traumatizing you. So in a world of fake news and social media filters, the quest for authenticity has never been more important in my opinion. And it also has never been more challenging. We don't even know what's AI anymore. We're constantly bombarded with curated versions of reality, making it really hard to discern what's real and what's not. So this season, get ready to explore how to navigate this landscape and stay true to yourself. We'll talk about the pressure to present the perfect image to the world and how to resist that pressure in favor of authentic self-expression. We'll talk about the courage it takes to be vulnerable, to show up as your true self in a world that often encourages us to wear masks. Because here's the thing, you guys. Everyone deserves to have their truth. Everyone's journey to that truth is unique and valid. And when we start living from a place of authenticity, it has a ripple effect. It'll give others permission to do the same. So this season is an opportunity for profound growth and healing, but only if you're willing to face your shadows. It's about becoming more fully yourself, more alive, and more awake, turning pain into purpose and turning wounds into our gifts. You can even see in season 1 of my podcast how much I was struggling with authenticity. In each episode, each week, I struggled with perfectionism, people-pleasing, trying to make sure I was going to be seen online as the person I wanted to be, the healer. This manifested in all areas of my life, in my relationships, in my work, and how I presented myself on social media. And I had to do a lot of deep inner work between season 1 and season 2 to face some of that fear and insecurity and break free from those patterns. I had to confront my belief that my worth was tied to your approval, to be honest. And I had to learn and accept myself, flaws and all. And this journey wasn't really easy. I had tons of moments of intense discomfort, times when I wanted to go back to my old patterns. But I gotta tell ya, being authentic is all I stand for now. And in that, something amazing happened. My relationships deepened, my work became more fulfilling, and I started attracting experiences and people that aligned with my true self. This is the kind of transformation that's possible when we commit to living our truth. And it's this kind of transformation that we'll be exploring and encouraging throughout this season. So here's my invitation to you. Come on this journey with me. Be prepared to have your beliefs challenged, your comfort zones pushed, and your mind blown wide open. Remember, if something triggers you, that's where your work is. And if you find yourself getting defensive during any of my episodes, ask yourself why. This season is about peeling back the layers, doing the inner work, and emerging as the fullest, most authentic version of ourselves. It's about embracing all parts of who we are. The light, the shadow, the joy, the pain. So are you ready to dive deep this season? Face your shadows and embrace your light. Live a life that's a true reflection of your inner world, because that's what this season is all about. So imagine waking up each day feeling fully aligned with your purpose. Imagine the freedom that comes from no longer seeking external validation. Instead, it comes from being anchored into your own truth. And imagine the impact you could have on a world when you're living from a place of authenticity and empowerment. This is the journey. It won't always be easy, but I promise you, it'll be worth it. And I really hope that we can build more of a community this season. And I want to remind you that this podcast is more than just me talking into a silly microphone. This is a community of truth seekers coming together to support and inspire each other on this journey. So if you're ready, give it a like, subscribe, and post a topic you'd like me to chat about in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and connect with you. Find me on social media, and remember, it's time to liberate your bliss.